grand prize drawings during Harris June RV giveaway. You know you gotta get to Harris! Oh, yeah!
Introducing the all-new 2005 Dodge Grand Caravan, the first and only minivan with 2 available rows of stow-and-go seating and storage.
Oh, our minivan doesn't have those.
So for all the things you have to take, and anything that comes your way, you can stow and go in a flash.
Our minivan doesn't do that either.
The all-new Dodge Grand Caravan, as adaptable as you are. Now get the lowest price minivan in America.
For the weekend to end on a dry note, your forecast at 11.
It's all new with Bill Murray, Monday on The Late Show.
Financial services.
We're looking on only 3 points.
Reduction long-term receivables.
The luxurious Hyundai XG350L with America's best warranty. It's getting noticed in more ways than one.
I got his car just in time. My apartment needed a serious upgrade, and now I have Mocha-Mola. And this time, nothing but the classy stuff. Black lacquer, Roman columns, a statue of David. But with some underpants on. Hey, I'm no hussy. Sure, it's not my money, but great taste don't come cheap, Cookie.
Fraud early warning. When we see suspicious spending, we'll alert you and stop it. City Identity Theft Solutions. That's using your card wisely.
Stress should cause more perspiration than this. How did she do it? Congratulations. You're in.
Degree kicks in the clutch.
1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's how elementary it's gonna be. 1, 2, 3. Come on, let's fall in love. It's easy.
Most of us don't get enough calcium, but with 3 dairy servings a day, it's easy.
1, 2, 3. It's easy.
Have you had your 3 today?
Kinda looks like the Rocky Mountains, huh?
Nice.
Denny's new Denver Scramble. Eggs scrambled with diced ham, green peppers, and cheese. Served with hash browns, bacon, sausage, and pancakes. It's one of 3 new Super Scrambles, just $4.99.
Buy Mystic River on DVD Tuesday. It's a masterpiece. On over 145 critics' top 10 lists. 6 major Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, and winner of 2 Academy Awards. Mystic River, buy it Tuesday.
One night only.
This Sunday, Broadway gets big. Broadway gets bold. Broadway celebrates its best. Live from Radio City Music Hall in New York City, the 2004 Tony Awards, hosted by Hugh Jackman. With musical performances by Mary J. Blige, Tony Bennett, and the season's best musicals, the 2004 Tony Awards. One night only, this Sunday. Be there on CBS.
All next week, be a soap star, stand-up comedian, a cop, or the voice in a cartoon. That's just a few things our anchors always wanted to do, and see what happens when they do it on The Early Show.
Right now, you can get the Ford you've always wanted with over $1.75 billion in inventory. Now you can drive a 2004 Focus with 0% for 60 months or $3,000 cash back on one of Car and Driver's 10 best. During Ford's Get What You Want sales event, get the Focus you want with 0% for 60 months or $3,000 cash back. So get moving while there's still a great selection of cars. 0 for 60 or $3,000 cash back. Drop into your Carolina Ford dealer during the Get What You Want sales event.
Itchy hives could have ruined my big day.
Miserable, itchy hives just about drove me nuts. Now, I've discovered Claritin Hives Relief.
But now, I'm Claritin Clear. That means I control the itching without drowsiness.
So I'm Claritin Clear.
Introducing new Claritin Hives Relief, the only non-drowsy over-the-counter medicine specially for hives.
Get Claritin Hives Relief.
And get Claritin Clear.
powerful, non-drowsy relief from your worst itching. Look for it in the first aid section.
The all-new Dodge Durango's making it to the top of a lot of lists. It came in first in a Car and Driver full-size SUV comparison test. It received 5 stars, the highest government frontal crash test rating. And since it's roomier and more powerful than Explorer or Trailblazer, lots of American families are making Durango their first choice. See your Dodge dealer and put the all-new Durango at the top of your list, too. Qualified buyers who finance through Chrysler Financial get an additional $1,000 for a total combined cash allowance of $4,500 on Durango.
Remembering President Ronald Reagan tonight at 11.
Monday, Dave's all new with Bill Murray. And later this week, don't miss Indy 500 winner Buddy Rice. Plus, American Idol winner Fantasia. Dave's all new all this week.
The latest low-carb news isn't a new diet book. It's New Centrum Carb Assist, the more complete multivitamin supplement with higher levels of select nutrients that help your body utilize fats and protein efficiently. New Centrum Carb Assist makes everyone's diet more complete, from A to zinc.
Hey, just curious, is there a law saying that if you eat late, it has to be bad?
No.
Well, then why do people eat that when they can have a classic hamburger made fresh from Wendy's?
You work for Wendy's?
Well, unofficially.
Off the cuff.
Okay, then.
Wendy's pickup window is open till midnight or later.
He witnessed a murder, but finding out the truth won't be easy.
His mental age is about 7 or 8.
Don't miss CSI Miami, CBS Monday.
The Emmy-winning Amazing Race is finally back, and better than ever.
Fabulous. We gotta get on that shuttle. Oh my God.
This race is longer, the locations more exotic, and the teams will be pushed to new limits.
Who said 2 fat Jewish guys couldn't change a tire?
The new Amazing Race premieres Tuesday, July 6th on CBS. This Sunday, Broadway celebrates its best. Live from Radio City Music Hall in New York City, the 2004 Tony Awards, hosted by Hugh Jackman. This Sunday,
Be there.
on CBS.
CBS Monday on Still Standing. When this father and son try to bond, things could get ugly.
I look him in the eye and he gives me that scary dad glare.
Paul Sorvino guests. Then Robert's wife tries to show his mom who's boss. Is the marriage over?
It's not over in here.
Because that is in there.
Everybody loves Raymond. And
Gotta run to the grocery store. I'm gonna need somebody to fold these clothes.
I don't know if the grocery store is the first place I'd go for that, but good luck.
2.5 Men on television's best night of comedy, CBS Monday. And catch Bill Murray on a new late show.
So big, so original, so outrageous. It's the CBS Summer of Fun. 12 new strangers move into the Big Brother house, and we've got big surprises for them.
Bring it on. Let's go.
No privacy, no outside contact. They have no idea what they're in for.
What a crazy game.
Let's kick off the summer right with the CBS Summer of Fun.
I can't believe it.
Big Brother 5 premieres CBS Tuesday, July 6th.
Monday, Dave's all new with Bill Murray. And later this week, don't miss Indy 500 winner Buddy Rice. Plus, American Idol winner Fantasia. Now your local news.
Say of us, these were golden years when the American Revolution was reborn, when freedom gained new life and America
Former President Ronald Reagan has died, leaving behind a giant footprint in American politics. Plus, new Alzheimer's research could help improve your loved one's quality of life. That story is coming up. Good evening. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm Chris Mao. He was called the Great Communicator. Former President Ronald Reagan has died, and our nation is now in mourning tonight. He suffered from Alzheimer's disease for 10 years, and he had recently contracted pneumonia. Manuel Gallegos takes a look at his life and his legacy.
Bill for the best of
Wilson Reagan was the oldest man ever elected to the White House, and his re-election was the greatest landslide Americans had ever seen. When he left office, Reagan's public approval rating was higher than any other modern president.
Let history say of us, these were golden years when the American Revolution was reborn, when freedom gained new life and America reached for her best.
His presidency began with drama. On Inauguration Day, Iran released 52 American hostages after 444 days of captivity. In office barely 2 months, Reagan was gravely wounded in an assassination attempt. When the president came back to work, public sympathy helped him push through the most sweeping changes in the federal government since Franklin Roosevelt's administration and the biggest tax cut in history.
Every promise, every opportunity is still golden in this land.
After he left office, and for the past 10 years, Mr. Reagan suffered from Alzheimer's disease, describing his disease in a poignant letter to the American people. Reaction from current and former presidents to his death was one of sadness.
This is a very sad day for our country. Though Ronald Reagan has been ill for a long time, the finality of all of this is going to hit the American people very hard.
He always told us that for America, the best was yet to come. We comfort ourselves in the knowledge that this is true for him, too. His work is done, and now a shining city awaits him. May God bless Ronald Reagan.
And early this evening, the body of the former president left the estate for the trip to the funeral home. Eventually, Ronald Reagan's body will be taken to the Simi Valley Reagan Library, and then he will lie in state in Washington at the Capitol Rotunda before a funeral at the National Cathedral. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, Los Angeles.
President Reagan's body will lie in state in the nation's capital for a few days before he's buried at his presidential library in Simi Valley, California. As word of President Reagan's death spread across the country, many of you had reactions and memories of the former leader.
It's a sad day for America because there's so many good things that he did when he was president, how he brought the nation together and how he supported the military, and basically just being a good president.
He's the man that accomplished a lot in his lifetime. You know, everybody should do that.
He tried for all the people. I think he had enough. Foresight to work for all the people, not just for himself. I think he really did care about the people. I really believe he did.
I happened to be in college in the early 80s, and so I was very familiar with Reaganomics, and I do believe he helped to turn the country around at that time.
We've received a reaction from South Carolina leaders all evening. I spoke with South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham during our 6 o'clock newscast this evening. Here's what he had to say.
He was a simple man in a complex way. He really was a man for his time.
U.S. Representative Jim DeMint says President Reagan's spirit and courage offered us all hope during a time of uncertainty. Attorney General Henry McMaster was the first U.S. attorney in the nation appointed by President Reagan in 1981. He says Reagan's optimism, courage, and determination made America strong and proud again in a time of great danger and doubt. And the chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party says he will always be remembered for bringing new life and a renewed sense of patriotism to our country during very difficult times. Former President Reagan put a familiar face on a dreaded disease. Of course, we're talking about Alzheimer's. It is estimated that 1 out of every 3 families in the United States is affected in some way by Alzheimer's disease. Researchers may have uncovered a simple way to help, though. New research shows combining medicine with a very common vitamin could slow the progression of the disease. Pamela Graham first told you about the research last year.
Just so I can get it. Lou Armstrong is one of the 4 million Americans living with Alzheimer's disease. It's been 7 years since her diagnosis, but thanks to aggressive treatment with the drug Aricept, her son Ray and her husband Tom say the last few years have been better than anticipated.
You'd really hate to see where we would have been if it wasn't for that medication. We feel it's really given them, some extra years of being able to enjoy that and their friends, traveling and so on.
While medication is partially responsible, researchers now believe that mixing drugs with vitamin E could help even more. Dr. David Beversdorf of the Ohio State University Medical Center compared patients over a 3-year period to see how mixing the drug Aricept with vitamin E could slow the progression of Alzheimer's.
That the decline at years 1, 2, and 3 compared to baseline was significantly less for our group.
Most Alzheimer's patients are routinely given exams to measure their mental abilities. In this study, patients treated with a combination of Aricept and vitamin E declined by about 1.5 points every year on the annual test.
The decline in the untreated group was 3.36 points on the mini-middle state examination. So it's about 2.5 times the decline.
Researchers say they are encouraged by these findings, but they still have many questions. They're now hoping to learn why vitamin E seems to work and if it will be equally effective for all patients. Pamela Graham, News Channel 7.
Until researchers can determine vitamin E's direct effect on Alzheimer's disease, they caution patients and their families to consult with your doctor to see if this treatment is right for you. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan rarely made public appearances, and when she did, it was usually at an event in honor of her husband. She stunned many earlier this month when she came out to support stem cell research. She came out for the research at a star-studded fundraiser in California. Some people are opposed to embryonic stem cell research because it involves the destruction of days-old human embryos. Reagan and others believe the use of stem cells taken from embryos could lead to cures for illnesses such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Many say she will continue to find ways to keep her husband's legacy alive. Ronald Reagan often said he couldn't imagine his life without his wife, Nancy. Judy Woodruff takes a look at their incredible love story.
Shots rang out as President Reagan left the Washington Hilton Hotel this afternoon.
Nancy nearly lost the love of her life when John Hinckley shot the president, but Reagan recovered. He used humor to ease her fears, telling Nancy, "Honey, I forgot to duck." Still, Nancy worried and began consulting an astrologer, something which raised eyebrows in Washington. Her profile improved with time and as she traveled with the president in Beijing, Berlin, and Geneva. The Reagans presented a united front of diplomacy and charm. They were each other's staunchest ally. Critics suspected that Nancy whispered more into the president's ear than words of help.
Doing everything we can. Doing everything we can.
Nancy understood Reagan's strengths and weaknesses, and she filled in the gaps, even if that meant playing the heavy.
Or she had that third eye that she would see people who were trying to use him and use him in the wrong way, and she would stop that.
Many say Reagan would never have succeeded in politics had it not been for his wife.
No. Ronald Reagan wouldn't have been governor, wouldn't have been president without her. No way.
And as his presidency ended, he let everyone know what she meant to him.
That second floor living quarters in the White House would have seemed a big and lonely spot without her waiting for me every day at the end of the day.
And then in 1994, Reagan wrote a letter, a poignant farewell to the nation after he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. It would be the last campaign he and Nancy would handle together.
I found that even though the person I love and have loved for 44 years is slipping away, my love for him grows. As he changes, if I stop asking why and simply love, I too grow.
Reagan epitomized the American dream. He was a small-town boy from humble beginnings who exemplified that the system worked, that any kid can grow up to be president. And Nancy, well, she was right where she wanted to be, by his side.
Nancy Reagan was by her husband's side till the end today. Former President Ronald Reagan was 93 years old.
Everybody's crazy for the new flavors at O'Charlie's, like our new fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs and the best brown sugar and honey barbecue sauce ever. Crazy. O'Charlie's new Bayou Spice Louisiana sirloin, topped with herb and garlic butter. And our new chili lime sirloin steak fajitas. Crazy. So for every mood, any occasion, meet us at O'Charlie's and go crazy for the best new flavors of the summer, starting at just $9.99.
I'm Senator John Hawkins. Andrea and I are teaching our two daughters the value of public service. But all too often, negative attack politics are driving good people away from public service. That's why our campaign is positive and optimistic.
John's steady and experienced.
John keeps his promises.
He understands and he cares.
And you can trust him.
That's why I voted for John Hawkins.
On June 8th, I ask for your vote in the Republican primary.
And now here are your winning lottery numbers. Your pick 3, 6, 2, 5. Your pick 4, 6, 6, 9-4. Authorities tell us one way to show criminals they aren't welcome in your neighborhood is to take care of it, replacing broken windows and picking up trash. As News Channel 7's Matthew Norton tells us, a group of people in Spartanburg are partnering with police to literally clean up the town.
On a beautiful Saturday morning, when there are so many other tempting things to do, a group of Spartanburg residents and police officers is hard at work. There's nothing glamorous or interesting about it, really.
Just trash. Nothing interesting. Just trash.
They're literally cleaning up the streets, one wrapper at a time. But there is a grand goal: to forge a relationship between the people who live here and the people who've sworn to protect them.
So if the people in the neighborhood see that the officers are out here and they're talking to them about what we're here to do, then they'll feel a little safer about calling when they see things, because this is their neighborhood and we care as much as they do. They can help us make a change.
They started early in the morning, huffing and puffing their way along city streets, not giving up until the job is done. Maybe encouraging those on the sidelines to help next time.
Hopefully we'll get some positive results from this and have more people out the next time we plant one.
But will this work? Will crime actually go down in this part of town due to this so-called weed and seed program?
Yeah, I think if we get more people out and involved and not so afraid of drug dealers and all that kind of stuff, and say, hey, we're going to take this back. We want our community back.
And maybe, instead of a rash of robberies and shootings, there will be more stories here like this. A rash of kindness and community spirit. In Spartanburg, Matthew Norton, News Channel 7.
And if you're interested in participating in this project like this, the Spartanburg Public Safety Department hopes to launch another one on June 26th in 2 other parts of town. You may call 596-2458 if you're interested in volunteering. Student housing could get a little bit safer at Clemson University. More than 100 students were without a home after fire destroyed an off-campus apartment complex in February. Because of that incident, the school is pushing ahead to install sprinklers, even though the money won't be available until next year. It'll come from a $5.3 million bond. In the meantime, the school would directly pay for the costs. Spent some time outside today, and it was cloudy. Thankfully, it was just that, just cloudy.
Yeah, exactly. Many folks want rain, but not on the weekend.
Right, that's right, exactly. Give us a break on the weekend at least.
Exactly, and we have a deficit of rain, but no rain came out of those clouds today, and that was good news if you have outdoor plans as well.